This video is about taking a trade after seeing the confirmation you want in a higher time from POI. If you are an ICT and SMC trader and regularly experience things like this happen to you when you're looking to get into a move, then you're watching the right video. I'll teach you why this happens and how to enter trades regardless, even if it's trying to get away from you. And that's going to be possible because I don't use lower time frame POIs and I strictly use a fixed RR while respecting the draw on liquidity. Now I'm going to explain every one of these rules as we go into the video. I've been able to teach a lot of people this hack and I regularly get feedbacks like these. Listen, the markets are getting harder and harder every day to trade because a lot of people are getting into the trading industry every single day. When I newly started, other blocks were very easy to trade, easy to spot, and the market respected them very well. Currently, you notice that there are more of failed order blocks and liquidity sweeps than even respected order blocks. So this is why crazy things like this happening, because the ICC 2022 model is everywhere. You know, purge, liquidity, breaker structure or market structure shifts, return to FVG, you know, it's rampant everywhere. So what happens is the market might not just return most of the time. And it's you as a smart trader to learn and adapt how to still get into trades regardless. So now these are the best tricks that will help you. So I use either of the styles, the pending order style or the fixed position style. For the pending order style, I only employ this style when I'm sure the trend on the 15 minutes time frame is clearly changing. So this is exactly where I place my buy stop order for a downtrend. This is where I place my sell stop order. For the fixed position style, what I do is I wait for price to form a high first, then I wait for the high to be broken, and I must make sure that the candle that broke the high closed above the old high, and then I'm going to take my trade at the close of the candle that broke above, or in a bearish scenario below. Now there are 4 rules you must obey if you want to make use of either of these styles to not get left out or miss out on hitting your TP. First rule says don't focus on lower time frame POIs. If you notice, the lower the time frame, the more POIs you find, and this could be confusing and make you run into anxiety and you won't know the one to choose. So what I do is that I don't focus on lower time frame POIs at all. Rule number 2, profit at close by hanging fruits. Now depends on the time frame you're trading, but the closest buy side liquidity that makes sense as realistic is where you should be taking your profits, especially when you trade forex, because if you hold more, the market might reverse on you or we might start consolidating. You want to get out as fast as possible. Rule number 3, use a fixed minimum RR. So how I do this is from the area where I get my full confirmation, between that area and my take profits, I make sure I manipulate it so well that I'm going to have minimum of 2.5 R. Now you can adapt this, and whatever RR that suits you, you can work with that. But personally, I want 2.5 R. And how I achieve this is by manipulating my entry, but my stop loss has to be static at this area because this is the invalidation point of the setup, and my TP has to be stationed at a definite area, which is the close by opposite liquidity. Now my entry is which I would have to manipulate, and if I'm lucky enough and price pulls back to tag me in, then I'm going to be in a trade. If it doesn't tag me in, then it can leave. Rule number 4, check the economic calendar before your trading session. Now if you have a news coming, you have to be smart. News would not have any pullbacks of any sort, so I make use of pending orders like a buy stop or a sell stop for news. I don't use limits. I use only buy stops or sell stops. And you want to place your order at a high that would confirm a chalk on the 15 minutes time frame, or a very clear area that you know if price get there, we'll just keep going up from there. And now you want to put your entry that way and put your stop loss that way. Now we are not going to work with closest opposite liquidity. what we're going to do is we're going to extend our TPT, gives us our minimum RR, because we believe that the news will push price past the usual target. But then we have to be smart. When we hit the target, we're going to send our stop loss to entry in case of any reversals or huge retracement that might take our stop loss out. Supposing you have been able to identify your draw and it's happened to be upward. Now, the first rule is this: you need to identify the closest buy side liquidity. Just like it's a buy scenario, you need to identify the closest liquidity pool, and this is the buy side liquidity first. We are identifying right here, as you can see. Now, the next thing is the entry criteria. Now, this is the POI we're talking about. Of course, you know liquidities are also point of interest. And when a liquidity sweep is raided, it's just the same thing as saying a point of interest is mitigated, okay? So now we have our liquidity paused right here. So what do we do next? Now, there are two ways I'll enter the trade. Two possible ways. Now, if there is a news event, I'll be entering this trade with a buy stop here, because this is exactly the place we have our what change of character occurring, because the market has been bearish all this while, created our last low here, and there's a high that caused a low. So if we break out of this, we are bullish, and I can decide to put my buy stop there and put my stop loss. For a news event, I'm going to put my buy stop here, and I'm going to extend my TP higher than the target because I believe it's news and it's going to go far. But if there is no news event, and from where I am to where my target is and where my stop loss is, the stop loss has to be static. Your stop loss has to stay under here to be safest, and your TP has to stay here to be safest, because you don't want the market to keep ranging and not get to your TP because it's too wide. So what you want to do, your TP should be at the right place, your stop loss should be the right place. You now have to edit your entry, so you keep reducing this entry till it gives you your minimum 2R, right? Now, one thing you need to get correctly here is this: that when we break above like this and close above, this is when you're going to do this measurement. This is when you're going to like measure it from where I am right here to where the TP is to where the stop loss is. Am I going to get a 2R? Now, if the answer is no, it means you can't enter at the close of this candle that broke it. You can't just enter. You're going to wait for a pullback. Hopefully it pulls back to your entry that's going to give you 2R. And you watch how I was not conscious of, okay, we have to return back to another block, we have to return back to this. No, I'm not conscious of any POI on this 15 minutes time frame. All I want to see is the fact that we have changed character. That's everything. And then I can enter anyhow I like. But I'm considering where my target is and where my stop loss is and my RR. So let's go to the next example. Now, this is the second example. This is on a Monday, 16th of December 2024, Euro USD. So let's look at it again. This is a bearish scenario, and we have been able to attack buy side liquidity, which is the POI we're talking about right here. Like the POI wanted to sell from the high value area. Now, remember, the entry is our main concentration, and as you can see, we had a break of structure here. Now, this, I don't consider this a change of character. I personally, I just consider this a market structure shift, because a clear change of character is when the market does something like this and then takes out the low that led to the high. Okay, but that's not the case here. Here instead we have a failure swing. We call this failure swing when this market creates a lower high this way, just like that. So now, how do I enter trades like this? You won't see me putting sell stops here in any reason except news is coming. You won't see me put a sell stop under here, even unless news is coming. But in a case where there is no news, when we break below this and close below powerfully like this, I can take my sell trade. But remember, we have to check, where is my stop loss supposed to be? My stop loss is best kept here. This is the best place for my stop loss, but then I would rather keep it here because here is another good place too. Now remember, where is our target? This is our target right here, the closest buy side liquidity that makes sense. So from here where we are towards our liquidity, did it give us 2R plus? Yes, it did. So guess what? After the candle close, because you know these candles do count down time. So you're on the 15 minutes and the countdown is going on, and you know this candle is about to close. You put on your short position to now measure it, because you want to be sure if the stop loss, the TP, everything is going to give you your minimum RR. Okay, I personally use minimum of 2.5, but if you're watching this and you want 2R, you want 3R, whatever you want to check if it fits. Now this one, as you can see, it fits with 2R and above, and then if you take this trade, you're good. So if you've always had issues with getting the right daily bias, knowing the draw on liquidity you should focus on for the session or for the day, if you've always had issues with entry, knowing the right time to enter, now the mentorship is for you. So when students come to me, I ask them questions to know where they are in trading, what their problem could be, because you might think the strategy is your problem, then it's your psychology, and you might think you have discipline issues, and you would not know this until a professional has been able to check what's wrong. To get access to a service like this from me, you click on the first link in the description. Now that link is going to lead you to my DM on Telegram. Now all I need you to send is Forex, and when you send me Forex, we are going to discuss. I'm going to ask you a few questions that would help me understand your exact problem, why you are not profitable, and I will be able to help you fix it. And this is how the mentorship works. The mentorship is all about solving your trading problems. The link is in the description. Go right there if you want to get access to me. All right, so this is 9th of December 2024, USDCAD. So now I'm going to make this clear example right here. Now, you see this place we have right here that serves as an order block. If we go to the 1 hour chart, here especially is another POI, so we regard it as a higher time frame POI. And you guys know how I draw my order blocks. My order blocks are very easy to understand. Smallest candle before an explosion to the upside, and this doji right here is what I'm actually calling that. But this whole zone is a fair value gap for the 1 hour. So whether there is something here or not, here is still a great zone. So you want to see what price reacts and does from here. And remember, it's the draw is higher, which is this. Okay, so now how do you get in? First of all, wait forwards. As you can see, this is where the last high is, because it was an active 15 minutes downtrend before we got into this place. So if you want to operate with, using the exact area where price will have to change character to bullish, is supposed to be here, and you see that's very far. So what happens is when price creates the first high and then pulls back down, you want to chill. You're not putting no buy stops here, okay, except it's news. But then when it breaks and closes above, just like as it did now, then you are up for a trade. Now this is when this candle is about to close, you want to start doing your measurement, right? You want to put your long position tool right here and put your stop loss right here, and then you want to start measuring from that place to your potential target, and this is your target. And did it give you 2 arrow? Yes. Now if your minimum, look at it here, it gives 2.14 arrow. Now if your minimum RR happens to be 2.5 or something, like I said, edit your entry. Your stop loss should be static, your TP at that target. Your entry should be edited to suit whatever. Now if you drag this entry lower, what happens is after this candle form, you see that the next candle would go below and you'll be tagged in and you get your RR. This is exactly how I did it. You notice how I didn't pay attention to any FVG on the lower time frame, any other block. I didn't. I'm paying more attention to how the market, how price react after mitigating this 1 hour POI. This place I call 1 hour POI. You can go and verify. You see, it's a fair value gap. You guys can see that area on the 1 hour chart is a big fair value gap. You can see it right here, and I've been able to extend the fair value gap to suit where it was, right? So that's it. As long as it's a 1 hour POI or a 4 hour POI, all you have to do when you apply your entry model, these techniques is going to make things easier for you and you stop missing trades. Now, this is another example, and this is purely news influenced example. And this is Wednesday, 18th of December 2024. And I needed you guys to see this because you need to understand that if you don't check your economic calendar before your trading session, you might just get miss out, because as you can see, the market got into this high value area, which is linked to the 1 hour, and it's an order block right here. Okay, for instance, even these areas was also a rejection block on the 1 hour. But then let's focus on this because of the news. Now, can you see why I said when it comes to news, you have to This is where you have the market structure shift or choke should be occurring. Okay, and do you see what price did her price dumped without any retracement? Can you see? So what did you learn? So you need to use sell stops in cases like this. The news is coming 5 minutes to the news. You want to sell to your sell stop, and you want to make sure that your entry doesn't get tagged or triggered before the news, because it gets riskier. Okay, as you can see, when we are talking about the news, guys, listen carefully. We don't make use of that close by target we normally use. Like I said, you can extend your TP further, but when price gets to that close target that you're like noticing that price could turn from, when it gets there, you want to send your stop loss to entry so that you don't have trade reversing back on you, but back to stop loss. But if the news is going to perform well, enough volatility, you're going to bust past there and just keep going higher or lower. So I hope these examples have been able to shape your understanding about how this works. And about this POI right here, you see, for those of you that are confused, it's coming from the 1 hour chart. Like I said, the higher time frame POIs are the best when you're looking for this, the 1 hour or the 4 hours. Depends on what the market is showing you at the moment. So this is the 1 hour POI we worked with, the 1 hour order block that facilitated this. And with the 15 minutes and everything, you'll be able to get into this trade. Yeah, if you found this video helpful, the next video on the screen is going to help you even more on your trading journey.